Hey everyone, Clay from Terminally Nerdy here. I'm sure you're probably wondering what is going on, what is this My Nerdy Memories thing. If you haven't been paying attention to my community tab or my Patreon public posts, there are public posts by the way, I treat my Patreon mostly as a website now, then you're probably unfamiliar with what I'm doing. Or, if you're coming into this God knows how long after I've uploaded it, let me explain. Something a lot of YouTubers do is, top 10 lists, top 10 best Super Nintendo games, top 10 best PC games, top 10 favorite games, all this sort of thing. I've never done that. I've been on YouTube for 4 years at the time of this recording, almost 5. And I've never actually sat down and done a top 10 or a top 5 or a top anything list, really, although I've wanted to. My issue is this. I have been gaming since the 80s. I started, the first console I ever touched was an Atari 2600 or a Magnavox Odyssey 2. We had both, and I'm not sure which of the two was the one I touched first. My first ever console that I owned personally was a Sega Master System, and I've been playing video games ever since. I don't think there's been a year gone by that I haven't played a video game. I'm nearly 40 now. So whenever I sit down and try to think of my top best games, my top 5, my top 10, the list varies greatly depending on my mood, time of day, what I've been playing recently, etc. And it becomes kind of difficult for me to pin this down because I look at games individually a lot of the time. I don't necessarily compare games to each other, except in the same genre maybe. So it's hard for me to go, well, this is the best game ever made, because there's like 10 different games in different genres that would fit that for me. And I got to thinking a couple days ago, again at the time of recording this, what could I do to do this? And it hit me that, why don't I just take a walk down memory lane? Look at my memories of games from these different consoles and different eras that I've played on, and pick out the best games for those that, pop into my head. Not necessarily what they are today, but what I remember them as. And then, why don't I go back through and play them, at least for a little bit, to kind of refresh myself to them, and play them now to see how they hold up compared to how I would have felt with them at release. And so, here we are, the Nerdy Memories Project, or My Nerdy Memories. This is going to be a video series that is a walk down my memory lane in gaming. I'm going to start with the very first console I owned, the Sega Master System, and work my way all the way up to modern gaming, PC specifically. The videos are going to be single videos. They're going to cover any number of games from these consoles. I have a list of games for each one, consoles or era, which I'll get into. And they're not going to really be reviews. They're going to be snippets of my memories, what I remember of playing them back then, how I feel about them now. There's not going to be any hard and fast rules about how long I play them, because frankly, some of the 8-bit stuff from the Sega Master System and NES, I could probably beat in an hour or two now. But other games, a lot of stuff on, say, Retro PC or the PlayStation 1, which are the two that are going to have the most entries, those are role-playing games, really big ones. So I'm not going to limit myself. I'm not going to schedule myself. Originally, my plan was to release all these videos once they're done, but I'm not going to do that. I'm putting this up to kind of tease the whole project, get people interested, and then I'm going to start. I'm going to start working on them. As far as reviews go, or new indie impressions or any first impacts, anything like that, it's going to be few and far between while I work on this, as this is something I really want to do. And I've got something like, 50 games to go through. I've got, 7 on the Sega Master System, 8 on the NES, 3 on the Super NES, 15 on the Retro PC, 12 on the PS1, 3 on the PS2, 3 on the Gamecube, and 5 on Modern. So if you're looking for numbers. So yeah. And this is really, like I said, mostly for me. I hope you all enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the journey, and I hope maybe this inspires you once I start putting these videos out to maybe consider it yourself. Because for a lot of us, a lot of people my age, you know, games from the past mean just as much as games now. And I'm still playing games, and I'm still going to be playing games. I mean, I've played games for nearly 40 years, and I've never gotten bored of it. There's always something new, always something cool. I go back sometimes and try older games, and I still enjoy them. And that's what this is all about. This is about my journey through gaming, my history, the games that made an impact on me, which might surprise you, some of them. And yeah, so as always, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to it. If you're a patron, you're going to get the videos as soon as I finish them, and then I'll probably let them hang out for like a week or two and then post them publicly. Again, there's no schedule for this. I'm just doing this because I want to do it. So, but yeah, and hey, since I'm posting this, why don't you take some guesses? Put some guesses in the comments box. What kind of games you think I'm going to pop up on here? What games, based on what I've reviewed and covered, do you think is going to make it on any of these videos? Again, Sega Master System, NES, Super NES, Retro PC, which, for the record, I consider Retro PC WinXP back to DOS. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and modern PC, which is after Windows XP. So throw a couple of games on there. Throw them down in the comments. If you're a patron, you already know what's coming. Don't, you can brag to people because the patrons got to see it, but the rest of y'all, you're going to have to wait. So, look, there are some benefits, okay? It's patreon.com/terminallynerdy. But hey, be kind to each other, and remember, stay nerdy!